Welcome back, Pokemon Trainers. Professor Chaz here. The lab coat's on back order, and the big day is almost here, everybody. This Saturday, February 27th, is Pokemon Day, the 20th anniversary celebration of the initial release of Pokemon Red and Green in Japan. So there's a lot of things to mention regarding Pokemon 20 this week. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. First things I'm going to mention is I do have a couple of booster packs as usual. I'll be opening these up and giving the code cards out to the viewers based on the question of the day. And although I previously mentioned my town has run out of Flashfire packs, looky here, I found some. So I do have an X and Y base set and a Flashfire pack. I will be opening these up at the end of the video, giving you a question of the day. You can have a chance to win the online code cards coming from these two packs, so watch for that. Now I'm just going to grab my notes here. First thing I'm going to mention is that we are almost at 500 subscribers. We've been kind of just hovering right below that mark for like the past little bit here. And as I say, once I do hit 500, I'm going to get a special kind of collection box of the TCG, do an unboxing video of that with all the code cards going to the viewers. And today, actually, in TCG news, I'm going to skip ahead in my little notes here. In TCG news, today the Pokemon TCG Generations expansion is supposed to be available. And they say that you're supposed to be able to find these in special collection boxes throughout the year, which means, since we are that close to 500, there's a chance, if we do hit 500 this week, I'm going to be able to get one of those box or collection sets for next week and do an unboxing with some Generations cards, possibly as early as next week. So hopefully we can hit that mark this week. Now I'm going to mention another thing too. There's only 2 days remaining to go to GameStop if you're in the United States and pick up your code to get the special Mew, which is being distributed for Pokemon 20. And if you're not in the States, there's other chances to get it, depending on what country you're in. I know Cerebi.net, if you go there, they have a listing of all the countries that are participating and where you can go to get these Mew codes. So all you do is you go in, you have 2 days left to pick up these codes. The codes are still redeemable up until March? Something 31st, either March or May. I think it's March, actually. But you still have 2 days to get these codes. So if you haven't gotten your Mew yet for Pokemon 20, go get that as soon as you can. There's 2 days remaining. And starting next month is when they're going to start distributing Celebi. I think that's going to be a Nintendo Network distribution, but I'll find out more and be able to give you the information next week, probably. Now, I'm going to mention also, I'm kind of a slack professor this week. I had some stuff going on for the weekend, and as it turns out, I missed out on the Winter Regionals being held down in the United States. They're having some Twitch streams and talking about on Twitter and all that stuff. Usually what I like to do is sit there and watch these matches. They actually had 2 separate streams for the video game and the TCG this time. So what I usually like to do is watch them, do some tweets and comments about things, but I actually, since I had a tournament at my local Pokemon League at Heroes Beacon, I wasn't able to sit down and watch that. Then I had the rest of the week ones kind of booked up with stuff, but I'm definitely trying to make sure that I can be there, on Twitch, watching the live streams for the next event coming up, which is, I'm going to mention, U.S. Nationals, I think is the next big thing coming up. It's going to be in July. So I'm definitely planning to sort of have some more time for that. Now, I'm also going to mention, also along with Pokemon 20, the Splatoon Splatfest that I mentioned last week. The red versus the blue, your vote for your favorite Pokemon game, you're on that team. The results have come in. It happened over the weekend. So it looks like, from what I found out, the Pokemon Red version had the most votes, so there was more people interested in that game, more members on that team. However, Pokemon Blue actually took it home. And not to be all, hey, it was my team and stuff. It's like, I didn't do anything to participate in it. But my Pokemon Blue game, my favorite one, my starter one, actually was the winner in the Splatoon results. So that was actually pretty cool. So, I already mentioned the TCG Generations is going to be available. So if you are going to be able to get out to some stores and pick up some collection boxes, you might be picking up some of those TCG Generations packs. I haven't seen them on the Pokemon TCG online just yet. It said on the last update that they actually have support for the Generations expansion, but I haven't actually been able to see them yet. As soon as they are viewable on there, I want to do an in-the-lab strategy video using those cards as well. So possibly, maybe next week, we'll see if they have it updated by then. Now, there's a number of mentions to make in the world of video games. First of all, in honor of Pokemon Day on the 27th, that is when Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, and Pokemon Yellow will be available for purchase and download from the eShop for the Virtual Console on your 3DS. If you haven't played through the original Kanto games, this is your chance to do it. The very first generation where things are so different, type matchups are different, there was no Dark or Steel type, Fairy of course wasn't a type. Some moves actually have different types, like Bite was, since there was no Dark type in the first games, Bite used to be a normal move. Karate Chop was actually a normal move too, as much sense as that makes. So, if you want to play the original games, you can actually download either of them and maybe play along with the playthrough that I'm doing of Pokemon Blue on the channel. So it's going to be available on the 27th. Now there's also the Kanto Classic coming up pretty soon. Starting this Thursday, the 25th? Yes, today's the 22nd. So, starting on the 25th, this Thursday, registration for the Kanto Classic online competition in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire will become available. Now, I've mentioned this in the channel in previous episodes, previous videos, where it's going to be allowing all of the original Pokemon from Red, Blue, and Yellow, except for Mewtwo and Mew. So in the national decks, Pokemon numbered 1 through 149 are permitted for this. You can bring Pokemon from earlier games that do not have the blue Pentagon, which you've traded up through the Poke Transporter, which is cool for me because I'm going to be able to use my main guys in this. And the participation prize for completing 3 matches is going to be Lance's Dragonite, which, among other things, has Barrier, which is a move normally Dragonite cannot have. For some reason, Lance has had it back in Red and Blue, so we're going to be able to get that Dragonite. Now, there's more information in some previous videos, but if you go to the Pokemon Global link, go into their online competitions or the news section, get more information on who you can bring, all the different requirements and such, if you want to take part in this. Participation is limited to the first 50,000 people that register. I know I'm registering as soon as I get up on Thursday, see if I can get myself in for this Kanto Classic. I still haven't decided on a team yet. I'm thinking my base idea is starting with a core of Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise, because they're the classics, they're the starters, and building the rest of the team from that, but we'll see how it goes. If you have any suggestions for who you want to see for my Kanto Classic team, leave me a comment down below, let me know who you want to see, and I'm not going to make that the question of the day. I was just thinking about that, but feel free to leave that as a comment also, but I will have a separate question of the day for the Booster Pack TCG code cards. The final thing to mention for this week is regarding Pokémon Tournament. Now, this fighting game is going to be part of the World Championships this year, along with the U.S. National Championships, but for your chance to play it early before it comes out in March, there are special early access competitions being held at select GameStop stores in 8 cities throughout the U.S. The cities are Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Los Angeles, New York, Orlando, San Francisco, and Seattle. So if you live in any of those cities, or if you can travel to one of those cities on this Saturday, you have a chance to sign up for these early access competitions. Now, what this gives you is the chance to play the game early, like I said before, it comes out in March, but the top players actually will earn a trip to the U.S. Nationals this July 1st to 3rd in Columbus, Ohio. So you're going to get a chance to play the game ahead of time. You might actually get invited to go to the big national championships. That's actually not too bad for being able to play a game for free, or early for free, I should say. So you're getting win-win, basically. So that is actually all I'm going to mention for the news for this week. Right now, we're going to get right into these TCG Booster Pack openings of X and Y base set and Flashfire, see what cards I get, and give you folks the question of the day to have a chance to win the code card. Let's begin. So we're now going to open up these 2 booster packs, starting with the older one, the base set of X and Y. We'll open Flashfire in a moment, but first things first, the question of the day is actually relating to the big hype of Pokemon 20, the anniversary celebration, and the fact that the new Pokemon Magearna from the upcoming movie has been revealed. Some people are speculating that this is leading us into Gen 7 this year. We don't know for sure, but it is possible. Now, if and when this new generation occurs, question of the day for you folks is, what would you like to see new in Generation 7? Would you like to see a new type perhaps, new ideas for battle mechanics? I think what I would like to see, I know with Generation 6 when it was coming out, there was some speculation of light and sound being new types. I think that would actually be pretty cool. Of course, I'd like to see some new Mega Evolutions as well, but maybe some new typing and, I don't know, probably just some new typing. There's other ideas that I'm sure I got plenty of ideas. No, I know what I was going to say. Alright, before I open this. What I've always thought, there would be a really cool status condition in the games that other RPGs have, but yet Pokemon has not introduced. That would be petrification. Now, a lot of RPGs, characters can be turned to stone. Now, I think that's similar to what freezing used to be in Generation 1. When a Pokemon was frozen, they were frozen for keeps, unless you hit them with a fire move, which I accidentally did against a Wild Weezing one time and thawed it out, and it just attacked us again. But anyway, that's another story. So, I was always thinking petrification would be cool. It could be like a permanent kind of a thing, like being frozen, but if you petrify a rock type, I would think they should still be able to move, but gain defense boosts. That would actually be a pretty interesting new status condition to include, because they haven't included new status ever. They've had the same basic status afflictions, unless you count like things like Attract and stuff. But anyway, I've already opened the pack. Let's just get right to these codes, or the cards. So, what would you like to see new in Generation 7? Leave your comment down below using hashtag QOTD in your comment, And this Sunday, the 28th, I'm going to be revealing, or choosing people that have left the comments of the day, questions of the day, to get these code cards. I'm getting all flustered with my words here. Anyway, this is held until Sunday, the 28th. If you leave your response to the question with hashtag QOTD, you have a chance to win that code card. Alright, I think I got the information out. So let's see what I get out of these packs right now. Starting with a Weedle. We have a Scatterbug, a couple of the Caterpillar Pokemon, Skiddo, Voltorb, and a Sandile. The uncommons begin with a Lunatone. I'm not sure if I'm focused. Oh, Professor's Letter. Definitely useful. Definitely focused now. Awesome. A Frogadier. I'll be seeing you next, or I was going to say next week. I'll be seeing you tomorrow in the TCG video. We have a Reverse Foil Panseer with the Live Coal and Fireworks. And it's not even going to focus. Alright, anyway, let's focus the back of this because this is the rare of the pack. We want the hype to be real when we reveal a Magcargo. Alright. Magma Mantle, Heat Blast. Not bad. Anyways, let's move on to the Flashfire pack. Interesting, we had a lot of fire out of that base set, but now we're going for the fire pack. So once again, question of the day is, what would you like to see new in Generation 7, if and when it comes out? So, I'm going to take this code card, which is revealing itself. That's going off to the side until Sunday the 28th, and I'll randomly select somebody who has left that comment with hashtag QOTD to win that code card. So now, moving on to the physical cards, adding to the collection, we're going to start with the commons of Feebas. We also have a Geodude, Litleo, Stunky, and a Shinx. Uncommons are going to begin with a Love Disc, Pokemon Center Lady, always useful to heal up your team, Rapidash, Free Retreat, I love that. Reverse Foil card shall be a Floette. This is actually an uncommon, I thought it was rare. There's another Floette in this set that is rare though. And the rare card of this pack is a Scrafty. You can corner for 30 and prevent retreat, or do a Jet Headbutt for 80. So those are the cards that I got. Hopefully if you leave that comment to the question of the day and get one of these code cards, you get some better cards. Not that these weren't good, but there are some better cards you can definitely get out of these packs. So once again, question of the day, when Generation 7 does come out, what would you like to see new in Generation 7? So again, leave your response to that, use hashtag QOTD in the comment, you get a chance to win one of these two code cards when I draw them on Sunday the 28th. With all that being said, we're going to end off this week's news update video. Come on back tomorrow to check out another TCG live online match using a Breakpoint Break Evolution. And this week is going to be Greninja Break. With all that being said, we're going to end off the video. Thank you everybody for checking out this news update, and I'll catch you next time.